You're listening to the Fort Erie Podcast, your local source for upcoming events, hot new listings, and bite-sized interviews with business and community leaders. Here's your host, Brent Jones.
Hello and welcome to Season 1, Episode 3 of the Fort Erie Podcast. It is Tuesday, October 22nd. I'm your host, Brent Jones, and today I'm going to be chatting with Nick Dubanow, Fort Erie Town Councillor for Ward 2. But first, I just wanted to highlight that last week's episode number 2 of the podcast, passed 150 downloads, 150 listens. Word is spreading. That's a lot of people tuning in for episode number 2. So we're on to episode number 3 this week, and I want to highlight again that when you visit theforteriepodcast.com and you access the show notes below each episode, you will find social media share buttons, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, email. If you want to help spread the word about the show, I would certainly appreciate that. And I also want to mention that if you scroll just a little farther down the page, just past the show notes, you'll also find a section for comments. You can use your Facebook account to leave a comment on each episode or to potentially ask a question to my guest. I'd love to engage with you there. So make use of the Facebook comment section below the show notes, below each episode. So let's move on to hot new listings. These are my real estate picks for the week. I've got just 3 for you. The first one, we're going to start in Crystal Beach at 413 Elmwood Avenue. Now this is more of a cottage, and it's small. It's just over 700 square feet. I think this home would be ideal as a recreational property, even an investment property, or possibly for somebody living on their own. It is certainly priced to move. It features 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, an eating kitchen, all laminate flooring throughout, fresh paint, and it's close to everything. If you love that Crystal Beach lifestyle, 413 Elmwood Avenue may be worth a look for you. Now let's move on from there to Ridgeway. We're going to head over to 2998 Yonge Avenue. Now this is in the Thunder Bay area. It's a short walk, again, to just about everything, including the Friendship Trail, downtown Ridgeway, Bernard Beach. This home features an oversized workshop / garage thingy with a loft and a large shed, both of which have power. 2 beds, 1 bathroom, and about 900 square feet. This home has a gas fireplace, patio doors out to the deck, a private fenced-in backyard, and just a ton of new, really fresh-looking updates throughout. That's 2998 Yonge Avenue. And also in Ridgeway, my third and final pick for this week, 3666 Nye Road. Now, this home is sitting on a huge lot, lots of property, more than half an acre. The lot is 302 feet deep. This home has 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, including an ensuite. It's a raised bungalow. It's got a double car garage, updates throughout the home. There's a rec room with a gas fireplace, heated bathroom floors, that's nice, marble front entrance, and a lot of new appliances included as well. So to see any of these properties or to talk about selling your home even, call me, 905-626-8826. Now, on to my chat with Nick Dubanow. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I am sitting down here with Nick Dubanow, Councillor, Ward 2 of Fort Erie. How are you doing, Nick?
I'm good, Brent. How are you doing today?
Hey, man, I'm great. Thanks for being on the show.
Right on. Yeah, glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm going to start by asking you the same question I ask all my guests, which is, what makes Fort Erie such a great place to live and work?
It's a beautiful community with great people. I actually did not grow up in Fort Erie. A lot of people on council, like this, born and raised. I actually grew up in St. Catharines. I chose to live here. And now that I live here, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. It's absolutely beautiful in the summer. It's a great community, lots of amenities. We're working on getting even more. It's a great place to raise a family.
It's really funny you emphasize that you chose this area, because that's the exact wording I use on my website. Because my wife and I moved here from Toronto 5 years ago.
Okay.
And so it's great with people in the area to say I was born and raised here, but I chose Fort Erie, right?
Exactly. You make the choice.
Well, let's talk a little bit about this. And I told you before we started, I don't want to get too political, and I certainly don't. But one of the reasons I wanted to have you on the show is that when the condo development announcement was made for the old Keystone Kelly building, you were very proactive in engaging with people, on Facebook about, your thoughts there. And so for the benefit of people listening right now, what are some of the key benefits to having a condo development go up in that site?
It's not just about the condo development. It's about getting rid of blight in that area of town. That building has been sitting derelict as long as I've lived in Fort Erie. It's been a long time.
It's like 15 years, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe even longer. It's been a very, very long time. Whatever went there would have been great. The fact that they're building a signature multi-floor building, we have a need for that kind of housing in Fort Erie. I think it's a great fit. I think it's going to help start revitalizing that into Garrison Road. I think it's fantastic.
I'm looking forward to it. Now, in the interest of full transparency, are there any drawbacks potentially? Anything where the naysayers maybe had a point?
Certainly anyone who has concerns can bring it up to me. I would be happy to speak with them about it.
Right.
I know some people have mentioned, it's not affordable housing. It doesn't meet, needs. That doesn't mean that we're not concerned about those things and working on them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we need multi-floor housing in town. We need multi-dwelling units.
Yeah.
It's a good size, good location. I think it's good. If anyone has concerns about it, by all means, they know how to get a hold of me. I'd love to talk to them about it.
Now, if you could, please, could you describe the boundaries of Ward 2? And as a part 2 to that, you mentioned that you'd love to see some development at sort of this end of Garrison Road, Garrison and Central there. What are some of the biggest issues happening within Ward 2?
Well, so Ward 2, the boundary is basically south side of Catherine Street, then it wraps around the bottom side of the racetrack, goes down Thompson and Helena, and then there's kind of a bend, goes down Albert Street and then back to the lake. So it's kind of surrounding the old Fort Erie kind of Lavinia, Murray, Garrison Village, High Street North. It's kind of the cluster around here. Revitalization on this end of Garrison Road. I mean, there used to be a mall there. It used to be the main commerce area, which has kind of moved further down Garrison Road.
Yes.
So as we, it's the first one to go up. We've got new Gilmore Lodge going in there. There's going to be other roadside developments, other commercial aspects. There's a lot of stuff in the pipe right now. So I think that's fantastic. We've got a lot going on in Ward 2 right now, though. We've got 2 parks master plans that are happening. The aforementioned commercial development. That kind of growth, as we see more people come to Fort Erie, that's going to then translate into more commercial services, which then even can lead into employment services. It's that cycle. If you're missing one piece of that, it's like a game of tiddlywinks. Everything comes crashing down. You got to have that balance.
Right. No, I think that's a fair answer. What I want to do now, though, is jump into the rapid fire question round.
All right.
So this is a chance for listeners to get to know you a little better. We'll put about 60 seconds on the clock, and I'm going to just rattle through these questions quickly and just blurt out the first thing that comes to mind.
All right.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay. What's your least favorite type of music?
Oh, country music.
That's an honest answer. All right. Favorite superhero?
Batman.
Favorite casino game?
I don't gamble, so that's I play a slot machine when I occasionally.
Fair enough. What's your favorite food?
Pizza.
If you won the lottery, what's the first frivolous thing you'd buy?
A boat.
Boat? Okay. Who taught you the most in your life?
It's just not a fair question. My mom and my dad both instilled a lot of things that were different.
Right.
So I don't want to say one without excluding the other because frankly, I still want to get Christmas gifts.
We'll say parents.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll say parents. What sports do you either currently or have you played?
I've played soccer. And I've played soccer.
A lot of soccer. Okay, that's good. All right. Well, getting back to the town, this is a question I really wanted to ask you. What do you feel needs to happen? And I'm talking greater Fort Erie as a whole, not just your ward. What needs to happen for Fort Erie to experience kind of the next jump in economic growth? What's the next thing our town needs to do in, say, 5 years?
Well, I think we're already doing it now. Okay. So we're already starting to see the residential growth, which is going to lead to the commercial investment. Then that's going to lead to employment. And I mean, we've made some changes to economic development in Fort Erie. For better or worse, we'll move on for that. I think it's going to, we can embrace that, move forward, get some decent paying jobs here. It's about in my opinion, finding ways to keep families here. So typically kids grow up, they move on, they go somewhere else. And now we're starting to see the challenge with affordable housing where grandparents can't afford to live in Fort Erie. So they're leaving as well. Because again, don't have a lot of multi-unit housing here, which drives up costs due to increased demand. So if we can find a way to address those issues, the affordability issues and the employment issues, then that's going to make Fort Erie a full community where people live, they work. You don't have someone who, lives outside and works in Fort Erie or lives here and works outside. It's about building a whole community, a sustainable, active transportation, walkable community, good quality of life, good place to raise your kids.
All right, last question just before we wrap up. When did you first know you wanted to get into local politics?
When I was 7 years old.
Yeah, you just knew it, eh?
So I grew up in St. Catharines. I went to Ferndale School. Al Unwin was the principal. And if anyone who's familiar with regional politics, he became mayor of St. Catharines. But when I was a kid, he was a councillor in St. Catharines. And I remember one night I said, Mom, I want to watch the principal on TV. Turned on Channel 10. There he was. I was 7 years old. And I said, you know what, I want to do that.
That's amazing.
This is a dream come true for me. I've wanted to do this ever since I was a kid.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with me today.
Thank you, Brent. I'm happy to be here. Maybe we can do it again at some point.
I hope so.
Absolutely.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Let's conclude this episode with some community events coming up in the next 7 days or so. I'm going to start with one tomorrow. That's Wednesday, October 23rd from 10 a.m. until noon. The Fort Erie Job Gym is hosting health and safety awareness training. Check out the link in the show notes, as with all of these events, to get more information on time, location, how to register, and all that good stuff. On the following day, Thursday, October the 24th, Rotary Fort Erie celebrates their Polio Day dance. This is a celebration of no polio in Canada and remembering World Polio Day. This happens at the Legion from 7 p.m. until midnight. Admission is $10. You can expect a cash bar, finger food, and dress is business casual, so come looking sharp. Garrison Little Theater on Friday, October the 25th is kicking off Vanya and Sonia and Masha and Spike. So this show, there were tickets available for Friday, Saturday, Sunday this week, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday next week as well. Let's see, we've got the Get Lucky Halloween Carnival happening at the Sanctuary Center for the Arts in Ridgeway. Doors open at 7:30 p.m. Show starts at 8. This is a 19-plus event. Looks like it features all kinds of crazy stuff. Tickets are $30 in advance or $40 at the door. And it looks like you've got like a burlesque show, aerialists, contortionists, fire eating. This is going to be wild. This is happening Friday, October the 25th. Again, doors open at 7:30 p.m. You can get tickets in advance from Brimstone Brewery, the Revival Salon, and all proceeds go to Women's Place of South Niagara. So it goes to a very, very good cause. Let's see, Saturday, October the 26th from 10 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. Young people, I believe, ages 11 to 14, are able to take this course at the Fort Erie Public Library, the Centennial Branch, the St. John's Ambulance Babysitting course. Same day, Saturday, October 26th, and then another 19-plus show. Doors open at 7. Show starts at 8 p.m. I'm, of course, talking about the Drag and the Devil show at the Bell Tower. Tickets are available now. General admission is $20. Buffalo Canoe Club on Sunday, October 27th is having their 4th annual Staff Chili Cook-Off fundraiser. And I understand all funds go towards an educational bursary put together by Buffalo Canoe Club. So you can sample 9 different chilies, there's games, raffles, live music, and cast your ballot to determine who has the best chili. Also Sunday, October 27th, annual Halloween bash at the Fort Erie Optimist Club. That's happening 1 to 4 p.m. This is, I guess there will be prizes here for best costumes, ages 0 to 12. And for the best family costume, there'll be a magic show, kids activities, goodie bags to take home, snacks and drinks available for sale. That's happening Sunday, 1 to 4 p.m. Annual Halloween Bash, great family-friendly event. And then finally, on Monday, October the 28th, we have TIFF in Fort Erie, Toronto International Film Festival, Monday night at the movies, right at the Meridian Center for the Arts, Greater Fort Erie Secondary School. Box office opens at 6:30, movie starts at 7:30. Tickets are $10 each or 3 for $25. Available right at the box office, cash only, and the movie is going to be All Is True. All right, I think that just about covers events. Folks, thank you for tuning in to the Fort Erie Podcast. Subscribe to the Fort Erie Podcast wherever it is you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, even YouTube and SoundCloud. You can find this show. And of course, I'll be back with you next Tuesday for episode number 4. And my very special guest will be Don Irvin of the Lonely Guy Boutique from downtown Ridgeway. So long, everybody. Have an awesome week.
You've been listening to the Fort Erie Podcast with your host, Brent Jones, a sales representative with RE/MAX Niagara Realty Limited Brokerage. Follow @BuyWithBrent on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for updates. Subscribe to the Fort Erie Podcast on popular platforms like Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and catch a new bite-sized episode every week. Until next time.